This is Just Jonavin, and I'm here with
Angie,
Zion.
and we're Gloom East.
And welcome back to another episode of What Does It Mean to Be an Artist? I guess the first thing that is a good question to ask is how did you two meet?
So we met at a house show back in Miami in 2019. We went like at a Halloween backyard house show. And then they recognized me because we were in the same freshman experience class in college. And they came up to me and were like, "Are you in this class?" And then we just started talking.
So you guys are from Miami, but now reside in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
I guess which one do you like better? Which one do you like more?
I like Philly as like a place more. It's like people are way nicer, and like the vibes like think are more adjacent to the stuff that we do as compared to Miami. Miami's just familiar, and like I say because it's home, but every time I go back, it's usually like I like it less and less. So I like Philly a lot.
What would you say is like the main difference between the creative scenes in Miami versus in Philly? Like mainly like some places I've been like people are more like receptive to connect if you're an artist and you're around artists. But other places they okay, you know how to sing, well take these dishes out. Like that's but I guess what would be the main difference?
I feel like, I will say back in Miami, I didn't go out a lot, so I wasn't, like, I knew there was a scene, and I knew I had friends in the scene, and I had been to a couple shows, but I wasn't fully immersed in it. But I would say from what I've noticed just being here for 7 months now, I feel like we've made a lot more headway in terms of opportunities being in Philly than being in Miami as, like, an indie band.
Yeah.
So I guess what kind of got you guys into making music?
We wanted to do creative stuff. Like we started just like I asked them to like help me take pictures, and like the like graphic design, and then eventually we both like music, so we kind of like one off like projects here and there, just like trying to have fun making it, and then eventually we were like, oh, we're actually kind of good at this. Like it's fun to do it like together, so it just developed from there. And then I was leaving Miami, and so we were like, oh, it was kind of sad, but we were like, oh, we could do something before we leave, and that was the first project that we did for Gloom East. And then after that, we were like, we should just keep doing it because it felt like kind of natural.
It's funny that you started bringing up the ways that it feel because my next question is, what are some of the things that you feel when you're creating or making music? Like, what are some of the emotions or thought process that go through you guys' head?
I feel like because a lot of the songs we write come from, I feel like a dark place, it can be kind of like emotional, I guess. But also, like, we don't like cry in front of each other or like get emotional in front of each other, I guess. So it's like the material can be dark, but I feel like we're still having fun writing it and making it. It's just like it's like when you go out with your friends and to do something creative, and even if like the material isn't the best or it's not the most amazing thing, it's still fun at the end of the day.
Still like a vibe,
Yeah, so it's like I feel like we're just like having fun every time we make music.
Yeah.
Because you talk about your music comes from like a dark place or it doesn't necessarily stem from a happy moments all the time. But like how does those low moments like inspire you to kind of create as well? Like
I feel like there's no way out, like, you know how there's no way out but through? It's kind of like, I feel like if I didn't have music, I don't think I'd process anything actually. Because I sort of just like shove everything to the back of my head. I'm like, I don't have to deal with it. But then writing a song, it allows you to acknowledge what happened without like, I don't know, it's like you see the end product, and I feel like it's rewarding to see that something good came out of, you know, a horrible moment versus like just dealing with it. It's kind of like, okay, I just feel awful. Like there's no reward at the end of dealing with it.
that's actually a strong point because one thing that I like to say, and I'll say it as many times as I can, is like, so like people look at the songs that you make or the beats that you make, and they're like, it's entertainment, but like 95% of the time, it's like, bro, this is like my life right here. Like this is not really, like yes, obviously we want people to be moved by it and to be entertained by it, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like, but without this kind of process that I go through, or without making a beat or creating a song, it's like I don't know how I'm going to be able to process all my emotions without that. Like, it's just kind of crazy. But the next question I do want to ask is about how do you guys, because I feel like so far y'all talked about how y'all perceive your music and you kind of speak on it coming from a dark place, but how do you want people to receive your music, or how do you want people to feel when they listen to your music, if that makes sense?
I guess like not alone. Like I feel like we write. Obviously, it's like to vent and to like talk about stuff we go through, but we recognize that a lot of the stuff is like similar to what other people go through, and we like it to be kind of like as cathartic to listen to us as it is to make the music. Like we like people to listen to it and feel like kind of safe and like feel like, you know, like they're not like the only people going through it, which is like a nice feeling to have. I feel like that's like at least lyrically, that's what we would like to do.
Okay, so that brings me to my next question. Like, musically, who are some of your inspirations?
Growing up, I would say maybe like Alex G is probably a big one. Alex G, I think he's from Southern, he's from PA, and he was like, he's actually like the one artist that I feel like me and Andrew relate a lot on. Our music kind of is derived from like the stuff that he does a little bit. But yeah, I like how like literal that his stuff is, and I feel like he influenced a lot of like my writing and my way of like making music for sure.
I'd say for me, there's this band called Daughter from the UK, and I liked that they didn't shy away from darkness and lyricism, and I think that's what drew me to them, because in the same way that, you know, it's cathartic, like, you know, when you want people to find comfort in what you're saying, I found comfort in what they were saying in their lyrics. And so I'd say that was the biggest artist for me that sort of inspired me to write more personally.
What does it mean to be an artist to you?
I feel like it can mean a lot of different things. I feel like, you know, depending on your lens, on how you look at it, you know, I think being an artist, it doesn't always boil down to just sharing. I think you can be an artist and never share anything. You know what I mean? I think if you're writing, if you're creating, and it never even has to see the light of day, and that to me, you're still an artist.
I think it's like a desire to like express yourself, like what Angie says. Like if you remove like all of like the rewards and like the accolades and stuff, and you're just doing it because you like doing it, I think that's like an artist. Like be whatever.
And what advice would you guys give to like aspiring artists right now?
Find a friend.
Find a friend. How important do you think that is to your journey? How does you two guys' friendship impact the way y'all create and y'all overall like process?
I think before I met Sam, I loved like music and I wrote a lot, but I never even had the confidence to share it. And I knew that music was something I wanted to do. And so I think finding someone else that pretty much had the same goals and aspirations as I did emboldened me to put my stuff out. And I think even to this day, if, you know, none of this would happen, I think, without either of us being in this together.
I guess.
That's powerful. Honestly, that is very powerful to have two people here who found each other and kind of push each other along their journey. And as we wrap up the interview, where can people find you, and what are some things that you guys are working on right now?
So you can find us Gloom East, Gloom East, like the direction, on all platforms.
So we are working on stuff now. We have an EP in the works that we are trying to drop this year. We don't want to say anything too much about it, and then we do have a single coming out pretty soon.
Hopefully I could get a mixing credit or a production credit on the EP. I don't know. But